Hello, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. I want to talk about mindfulness, the art of mindfulness, and it's something that I didn't know about forever until my early 40s, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where has this been my whole life? So before I get into that, I'm going to invite you to check out the link in the comments below. It is to my book called You Are Made to Heal, Spiritually, Emotionally, Mentally, and Physically. It is just my journey of being stuck for 30 plus years in anger, resentment, bitterness, victim mindset, and hitting rock bottom in the fall of 2015 was the most wonderful gift God could have given me, because I was able to learn how to surrender and to say, okay, God, um, I I give it all to you. Just please show me how to be happy, how to um, you know, live my life more fulfilling. I didn't have the answers. If you're not raised with techniques and with certain tools, you just don't know about it until you learn about it kind of on your own. And then it's a trial and error and just the remembering of doing it. So it is my journey of healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And going on 10 years, I have not had suicidal thoughts or depression, which is miraculous for me, because I just thought that this is what life is and what it's like and how it's going to be forevermore. And I'm here to tell you, if I'm able to overcome those emotions and thoughts and feelings, then I believe anybody can too. But it requires a lot of things at play. So check out that link. My book was written for the intent of teens and adults alike. So no matter where you find yourself in your thinking, a lot of people, as I was talking about my book, they're like, oh, I don't need that, but I know so and so and so and so in my life, they could really use that. And I tell these people, you know what, we can all use it, because I am far, far better than I was 10 plus years ago. And I feel like things are going great, but I can always still use those tools and techniques. So no matter where you find yourself, they're very helpful. Okay, so let's talk about the art of mindfulness, because this is a lot of it. It is the healing. It is how you healed. Art of mindfulness. It's like having a love affair with your life, loving to be alive, excited to be alive. Or do you wake up um super excited to get going for the day? Or do you have things to look forward and you're just excited to be alive? If not, um, there's things that you can do to overcome the dreaded day that's ahead of you. I used to dread days ahead of me, and I'm telling you, there's a night and day difference. So the art of mindfulness is having a love affair for life, and just using all of your senses. And when we think about senses, we think of our five senses: the seeing, the tasting, the smelling, the touching, and the hearing. Those are the five senses, but there's two more senses, and the sense of imagination and the sense of having intuition. Intuition. Now, a lot of these senses, especially the five senses, are more physical, and you know if you have them or not. But those last two senses are imagination and intuitiveness, and those get lost along the way, just like the other senses do. And I will tell you how the other senses can get lost along the way. So mindfulness is being childlike. It's connecting with your inner child. Think back. If you can remember your earliest memory, think back to when you were 3 and 4 and 5. 3, 4, and 2. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the years where you really knew how to be mindful and live life fully through mindfulness. We all had mindfulness down to a T when we were young. But then we get shoved off to school, or I shouldn't say shoved off to school, but we get sent to school, and little by little, little by little, that that gets eroded away. It gets etched away out of our lives, the mindfulness. So if you are surrounded by little children, small children, 5 and under, you know exactly what it is to have mindfulness. It is living life, loving it, exploring, questioning things like, well, how does this work? Or, oh, I'm curious, curious about this, curious about that. And you're really wanting to explore the world around you and just excited to be here, excited to learn, and loving, forgiving, just skin color doesn't matter. The people's ethnic backgrounds or religious backgrounds, not a big deal. We just love people and are welcoming and are friendly to all. And it's just, mindfulness is connecting with our inner child. And that has been the most important part on my healing journey. One of the most important parts, because I lost sight of who I really was. And God gave us a mission, gave us a purpose well before we got here to this earth. And we lose sight of that. When we get into our grade school years, we kind of lose ourselves, and we kind of think we have to fit into this mold of somebody else's image of who we need to be, or what we need to act like, or what our likes and interests are. We kind of go like, oh, that person doesn't like it, so that's, I'm weird if I like that, or whatever. And so we kind of fit ourselves into this mold of what society likes, to like what everybody else likes, or do what everybody else is doing. If we're not doing what everybody else is doing, then we're an outcast and we're not normal. And that is just, we lose our true authentic selves through the getting to know who we really are. And let's be honest, every teen goes through this. You just have to find yourself. And honestly, I did not find myself until I had hit rock bottom in my late 30s. And I was like, wow, I don't know what I'm into. I don't know my likes. I don't know my dislikes. And I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, your basics, what kind of music and what kind of this. But I did not know how to feel fulfilled in life. I didn't know what to go after. And hitting rock bottom, I was able to be led to mindfulness, of connecting with that inner child and going, oh yeah, I used to do that. And I loved doing that. When we connect to our inner child, we are connecting to God. If you lose sight of who you are and whose you are, the most important thing you can do is to connect to God through prayer and have these conversations of, hey, I'm lost. I feel like I don't know myself. And when we get to know ourselves, we get to know God. To know oneself is to know God. And I truly believe that, because I couldn't even stand to be around myself. If you told me 10 plus years ago that I had to go to an island for 3 days off by myself, I wouldn't want to go. I would say absolutely no way. I mean, I couldn't even stand to be around myself. So, versus now, if you said, hey, you won this trip to this island, but oh, here's the catch, you have to be by yourself for a few days. I'd be like, okay, when do I get to go? I'm going to pack my bags, because this sounds really fun and relaxing. And I actually would love a trip by myself, and not to say that I need a break from life or from my family or whatever, but it's just saying I absolutely love myself. I truly have this love for myself that I didn't have for 10 plus years ago. For 30 plus years, I didn't have this love, and lost sight of whose I was and who I am. And when I found out about mindfulness is just really getting into your senses. The smells, if you're thinking of smells and you just have this favorite smell, why is it your favorite smell? Is it because it reminds you of the holidays? Or is it because it reminds you of something your grandma cooked, or your mom, or just does it bring what memory does that what memory is that smell attached to? Maybe it's a camping trip, like the smell of a campfire and being around, so maybe it's something like that. Or maybe it's the smell of gasoline, which I used to love as a kid, and now I'm like, ooh, that's just so gross. I won't get back on board with that, because it's just all toxic smelling now, and I don't like it. But okay, so think of smells and how they've changed or how they've stayed the same. And Think of the things you hear. What are your favorite sounds? And what were your favorite sounds as a child? Reintroduce that in your life if you can't, if you haven't for many, many years. Like, reintroduce that, going, oh yeah, I really did like this, and I like it because of this, and this is the way it makes me feel. And the tasting, same thing. Taste, we have our favorite taste, and it brings us back to an old memory. I kind of think of that movie Ratatouille, where he's going to taste things at a restaurant, and it just throws him way back in the past to his grandma's or mom's cooking. And it just, he's there. And being mindful just does that, mindfulness in that. And you think of touching. What are your favorite things you like to touch? And with the intuition and the imagination, a lot of times when you go through the public school system, that is squelched right out of you. You listen to what we say, what we know what is best, and so you kind of learn to live for other people and how they want you to live and do what they want you to do. And so we lose our intuition and our imagination, because we got to do it just how, oh, this is the project, this is what we're doing today, and here's what it looks like, and this is, you do this, here's the steps to do it. And so there's not a lot of room for creativity. At least that's how I felt going to public school. And so the creativity, we can invite that back. We can, what are the things that you enjoy, and what are the things, are you using your visualization? Are you thinking of imagination? Are you inviting that? So when we can do that, we are connecting to our inner child. And having that intuition is learning to connect to the spirit, connecting to God, Christ, and being able to connect. And then we get this prompting, or we get this thought, and we act on it. And that is using our intuition. That is something that is beneficial to help us have happier, more joyful lives. And so the art of mindfulness truly is connecting with your inner child. And there is a lot of healing that takes place when we connect with our inner child. There is so much healing and so much love, and you look at things differently. The perspective of the world around you changes, and it's just beautiful. So that is what I want you to focus on for in your healing journey. Think about mindfulness and how, be mindful of your thoughts. Where are your emotions the majority of the time? Mindfulness is aware. And you know what? I grew up where being busy meant successful. Being busy. And the more you can get done, the more you can do all at the same time. It was like a badge of honor. And, oh, I did this and this and this day. And I was doing this and this while I was doing this and this, and I had this going, and so many things. And that's such like a badge of honor for generations, I think. And so mindfulness is really focusing on, because I learned as I was studying about mindfulness, it said, I had read a study where scientists have said it is impossible for human beings to do more than one thing at once. Our brain can only do one thing at a time. It's just how it is, one thing at a time. So when we say, oh, we're doing this, this, and this, and this, and we're spreading ourselves thin, and we are doing the best at multitasking, because I used to, kind of brag about, oh, I'm a great multitasker. I do this and this, and I have all these kids, and I can tell you where this kid is, and this, and doing this and this. And, honestly, it was burnout, and it's not something that God wants us to have. Chaos in our mind, chaos in our lives. And so it's important to just focus on what it is we are doing at that time. If we are folding laundry, fold laundry and focus on doing that. And if you hate doing certain household chores, try to switch those negative thoughts for gratitude. Gratitude for those dishes that you get to eat off them, and you have them to clean, grateful for your hands to be able to clean them, and you throw out gratitude. And I'm telling you, you will think of chores in a whole different light. Gratitude towards the people that it will serve, gratitude to the people that get to use them. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude when we want to complain about doing anything. So it is important to think of mindfulness as a shift in our thinking, a shift in our um, a shift in our thinking and a shift in our energy. So mindfulness really will, when we practice mindfulness, it will really raise you up. Mindfulness, things that we can do that raise our energy, singing, dancing, motions like that with our body is uplifting. It's raising us up, our energy, and that's part of mindfulness too. And it's part of mindfulness is just enjoying life, having a love affair with life, with whatever it is you are doing. If you are at work, if you are doing chores at home, or just, going for a walk and absolutely just taking everything in and loving it, and just being right there in the now, in that moment, without worrying about what you got to do, 3 hours from now, or worrying about what you've said 3 weeks ago to a friend and wondering what they're thinking about what you said. I mean, mindfulness is just being in the focus, in the here, in the now, and just loving life. Now, does it mean we don't think about the past or the future ever, ever, ever? No, things will remind you, like mindfulness, it'll, things that you eat will remind you of, oh, this reminds me of this. And that's awesome. We have memories for a reason. Memories help hold things together when we lose our loved ones, and so it's good. So it's important to just have this mindfulness and get in the habit of practicing mindfulness, because it brings a lot of joy to our lives. It helps life feel fulfilling. It really does. And I just want to invite you with mindfulness. I go deeper into it in my book, but just different things that you can do of being mindful with things. But it truly is life-changing. And I, as an adult in my early 40s, I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? And so just it's something that helps you through your days. So God bless. Please like and subscribe. Please share this channel with others. And until next time, God bless. Bye.